Alrighty guys, so over the recent days we've been talking quite a lot about the planes because they've gotten so many balance changes. However, the one thing which I'm still left to cover is going to be the tanks and ground vehicles, which I've also received quite a lot of them. So in this video guys, I'll be covering all the changes which were made. So anyway, firstly we have received quite a lot of buffs to a few vehicles when it comes to health. First off, the Leopard 2 ARC was buffed from 2600 health to 2730, which is a pretty decent buff. However, a vehicle which, once again, I didn't expect to be buffed is the Abrams X. This thing has been buffed by also around 100 or 130 health or so. It's almost at 3000 health now, that's kinda crazy. Next up, we also received quite a lot of health changes to ground vehicles because the Striker MGS has been buffed by around 200 health or so, which is once again a pretty decent boost. Along with this, we also received a health buff to the Striker Shorad and the Striker CUAS. I believe these two have also been buffed by around 200 or so. Now, along with this, the JLTV has also received a health buff. I believe it was also a 200 buff. Now, along with this, the Laser APC was buffed for 200 health or so, and the Guardian has received a pretty similar change as well. And lastly, we of course got the E10 AFV, which has also received around 250 health or so as a bonus. And unfortunately, the EMBT has also been nerfed this update quite a bit. It's gotten a 200 health nerf as far as I know. It used to be at around 3000 or so health, now it's slightly lower than that. Alrighty, so the first damage change which was actually made has been done to the Bradley linebacker because they nerfed its missile damage against ground vehicles and tanks as far as I know. Man, this thing did not need a nerf, it needed a buff. But yeah, they made it that it's doing a lot less damage than what it used to as far as I know. I don't exactly remember how much it did before, but nerfing this vehicle was just kinda a pretty weird choice in my opinion. Now, another weird choice which I noticed here is a buff to the Striker MGS cannon as well. Because this thing was already really strong, but now it's gonna be even stronger than what it used to because now it is actually able to two-shot most tanks in this game. Like, it's doing over 1200 damage per hit. That is crazy. Now, next up, they say that they slightly buffed the Leopard 2 ARC, PLO1, KF51, and Abrams X auto cannon damage. So the PLO1, KF51, and ABX basically have the same auto cannons. So right here, I'm just gonna be shooting at this tank and a ground vehicle with the PLO1, and it seems like it's able to do some pretty decent damage really fast, get these vehicles to an average of 50 or 40% health after a full burst, which is genuinely pretty good. However, the Leopard 2 ARC has received its biggest change, I'm pretty sure, against tanks, because now it is able to do 72 damage per hit, which is honestly a pretty decent change, to be honest with you guys. I don't know if it was needed though, the Leopard was always pretty good. Now, the E10 AFV has also received a buff to its wire guided damage, which, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, I don't really see it that much. It's doing 390 per hit to most of these vehicles, which is honestly not that much, to be honest with you. However, another change which they've also made is that they fully reworked the cannon ammunition, because before it was not able to shoot very long, but now it can actually shoot for quite a lot. So it's going to be able to do around, I believe, 4000 damage if it's going to be able to shoot its full burst at an enemy, which is more than enough to kill every single tank in the game. So that's always quite nice. Now, along with this, the TOS Buratino has unfortunately been nerfed. However, this isn't harsh of a nerf in my opinion. They said that they nerfed the artillery damage, but to be honest with you, I don't really see it that much. It still seems to be pretty good. And they also said that they reworked the Furry Fire rockets, which, to be honest, I can definitely see they used to do around 400 damage per hit or so, but now on the ground vehicles they seem to be nerfed by around 10% or so, and against tanks they seem to be nerfed by around 25%. It's definitely a quite decent nerf for the Free Fires, but for the artillery, I don't really see it, to be honest with you guys. Now, the Boxer CRV has also received a pretty nice buff against tanks as far as I know, because now it is gonna be able to do 150 damage against them, which is honestly a pretty hefty amount. I think it's gonna be pretty good at killing tanks now. And now, on top of this, we also received some changes to the Striker Shorad, which are always welcome. The Striker is now able to shoot for a lot longer than what it used to, which I think was a pretty good change because this thing ended up running out of ammo quite quickly in most exchanges, which led it to just die. It doesn't really have a good line of DPS, but now that is much different. And now lastly, we've also received a buff to the wire-guided missiles range. I don't really know which vehicles they're talking about exactly since they didn't list them, but as an example here, the Etan AFV is actually able to shoot me from 3100 stats, so that's definitely a pretty decent range increase considering the fact that the range was definitely around 2500 previously. And now along with this, apparently they made a change to the K9's flak speed. They're talking about the second gun, of course. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm not really noticing yet. The cannon really seems to be going the same speed as it used to, but then again, I could be wrong, I don't really know the actual stats. But anyways, with this, the update was also filled with quite a lot of bug fixes, to be honest with you guys. Like, this is a very lengthy list, so here is everything that was actually fixed. I'm not gonna be reading all of these since I think it will make the video way too long, but honestly, I think some of these changes are really good while the others are quite questionable. I think some of the tank changes didn't make that much sense. However, the planes in this update, man, I love their changes. Anyway, for the time being, that's everything that was fully updated or slash reworked when it comes to damages and stats. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.